Red Smith Sports Award Banquet.
The main reason that this banquet was established was to honor at least 10 local area people who might not have been honored for the job they do to help in sports.
The Red Smith Award, of course, goes to someone who has made some unique contributions to sport.
Who has made a significant contribution to sports in the state of Wisconsin.
And also epitomizes the great values that Red Smith exhibited.
Let's give a Red Smith welcome.
And so on behalf of all of those people, Willie, on behalf of the people here tonight and the committee who chose you as a recipient of the Red Smith Award, we want to thank you for being here and honoring us with your presence. Thank you, Judge Cannon, to the dais, successful coaches, audience, and everyone. I could start out by indeed saying it's a real pleasure to be here tonight, but if you live in Los Angeles, people realize it's a pleasure to be away. So I won't even take your time for that. But I think a night like tonight, it really touches you in many ways, because I can tell you that some of the greatest moments of my life were spent in this state, and I still cherish those years, and I guess it's one of the reasons I've held on to some attachments to the state. And as I was even coming up here today, I thought about when I was first traded to Green Bay, and Paul Brown had said all the times before that, if you don't want to play here, we can always arrange for you to go to Green Bay. And little did I know. But you know what, Coach, you'll appreciate this. I understand Lou Holtz the other day went into the O'Hare Airport. You probably heard this. And he walked up to the counter and he said, "Look, I want to check a bag to Denver, I want to check a bag to Los Angeles, and I want to leave one bag here in Chicago." And the attendant looked at him and said, "Wait a minute, you can't do that." He said, "Why not? You guys did it last week." But I can tell you, my best investment, Coach, was 3 years ago. I invested in a satellite. I want you to know, this year, you guys made it valuable. I surely want to say to Ms. Smith and in particular the committee involved with the Red Smith Award. I truly just looked at the list of recipients, and I can say that just being a part of this kind of group is very heartwarming. And I tell you, a night like tonight make you think about all of those things. You know, I thought about my high school coach who got me started in football. I thought about Eddie Robinson at Grambling, who kind of said, "Boy, get your life together." And I thought about Paul Brown, who drafted me and said, "We think you can play in this league." And I thought about Lombardi when I first walked in his office and said to me, "You're going to be our defensive left end." And, you know, and I said, a person's life is not all his doing. And the night you truly feel touched by the people who over a period of time impacted your life. You know, Joan Douglas MacArthur said, when a young man tastes of academic excellence and athletic success, he has tasted of life's finest fruit. I can say to you tonight, I experienced all of those things, but I also had the pleasure of seeing young people come up here tonight that are very much in that process. So I especially want to say to you tonight, I appreciate this moment for all the right reasons. The Green Bay Packers are clearly still dear to my heart, and I was not kidding when I said my satellite had the fun of watching the Packers this year, and you restored my Monday bragging rights. So I just really want to say to everyone, I appreciate it. Don, Sutton, and Mark, you know, he was the referee when I flipped the coin in the Super Bowl, and I remember they had this little plaque that we'd initially thought in the rehearsal that I was supposed to flip the coin and it hit that plaque, and I said, gee, Benny, can I do this? And I remember that somebody all at once said, should he have to hit this plaque? And they said, no, we do not want him to hit the plaque. So that was a big relief. But I remember when we walked on the field and I gave Jerry this coin, which I had problems with. I couldn't tell what was head and tails either, Jerry. But Jerry said, when you flip this, if you sure, you pull my coat and say what it is. I tell you, I felt great pressure again. I said, but thank goodness, Jerry, it worked. So it's a real pleasure to see you here tonight. Gee, just thank you. I will take this back to California and I will display it very well. Thank you very much.
Willie, we want to take a second to bring back a memory. Now, hear this.
I think we can accomplish most anything if we're willing to pay the price. And the price of success is hard work.
Lombardi was a man with great intuitiveness. He could just feel when that club was at a point where he needed to give it a little boot, probably in the you-know-what. What are you doing out there? Mercedes?
Yeah, okay.
Please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when we post another great episode or interview. Download the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for your support.